So I thought we'd take another look at Popeye the Sailor. And this is from the Fleischer storybook from back in the mid-70s. You can still get this on Amazon. I don't know that it's hardback anymore. It's probably paperback, but it's a really great book about the history of the Fleischer studio. They did not create Popeye, but they adapted it from a comic strip, a very famous comic strip called Thimble Theater, and turned it into a smash hit cartoon, so to speak. Popeye apparently made his first appearance in a Betty Boop cartoon. She was a big star before Popeye that the Fleischers created, and she was in a lot of cartoons back in the old days. Her appearance was, there's Cab Calloway because he did some songs for the cartoons. Her appearance was apparently created by Grim Natwick, one of the grand old men of animation. And she was a huge hit, a huge star. Her famous saying was boop boop a doop back then. There's a picture of Max Fleischer with Betty Boop pointing to her lips, and Mae Questel, who was the voice. So she was very popular, and at some point Popeye made a guest appearance, and they said, well, hey, let's keep this up and make some cartoons about Popeye. So they did. So here's Popeye strolling down the ship, down the deck of the ship. Here he is coming in between between Olive Oyl and Bluto. This is line art, they said, use this line art as a guide for your advertising. And here's the model sheets that we looked at before. Popeye, Olive, and Bluto, and there's Popeye walking. So let's do another Popeye pose today. And let's say his pose today is he's pulling out a can of spinach and he's about to eat it. So let's just have him holding the can of spinach in his hand with his palm up and looking down at it. And let's see what we can do. Let's get one of our pencils here. There's Oriental Blue, it's called. So we want to start with, there we go. We want to start with his head. We'll not make a big head. And we use his chin as where to aim his head. And you keep everything light. Don't have to get really heavy-handed. And a line of action here. And look at the model sheet, just to make sure you're keeping the proportions right. I should say that MeTV Toons just did a whole Friday of nothing but black and white cartoons, so I saw a ton of Popeye cartoons and a lot of black and white Warner Brothers cartoons for Friday after Thanksgiving. So there we have our very lightly drawn Popeye pose. That's his collar there, which comes down here. And once you have this pose, and you figured out what it is you want them to do, everything after that is just cleanup and icing on the cake. He has a little bit of a turned up nose like that, and then it comes back here and curls around, and let's say that he's happy, so this line should be up like this, and then his actual mouth line up like this, and then down here, and it connects from his nose, and you put his tongue here and fill it in. And then you make sure his chin comes down around like this. And then this right around like that. And then his ear. You want to make sure his ear looks just in the right place, right around there. And his neck comes down. This is why we keep things light, because I'm adjusting now where his neck is. And we can make his head come up a little bit further like this. So here's the brim of the hat and that little piece there. And then this part can come right around like this. And then we want this big piece here, like that. Okay, so you can go over it a little bit with your blue pencil if you want. Come down here. And then have his arm come out from underneath, and it attaches to his body here. And then he has that piece there. Great big forearms. His anchor tattoo. Big hands here. Just circles. Just keep it as circles. And then the rolled up sleeve. Now we come down here. And his shirt has this roll at the bottom, followed by the belt. And then a circle here. Little knob on the knee like that. Looks like his bell-bottom pants are pretty bell-bottom there. Now they do his pants rolled up like this, and then his shoe down like this, and up here. And then a line down like that. And now his other arm is holding the can of spinach. And we want that to come a little bit forward towards us. So it's a little bit foreshortened, and therefore the sleeve comes around back like that. The spinach sits in his hand here. It comes up, up. This is why we keep things light, so that we're not fully committed just yet. And they would probably do something like this, where it says like that. Comes around like this, and usually he has a couple sprigs of hair that come out, like 1, 2. Now you can darken this in. Maybe this is a little bit bigger and comes around like this. And then this one comes around like that. So there we have a very basic Popeye. And we need the buttons on him like that. I guess he has 3 buttons. 1, 2, 3. This arm is kind of coming towards us as well. Three and 4. All right, so follow along with this demo and make your own Popeye. Download the model sheet from the interwebs and have some fun drawing the Popeye the Sailor. They probably put some little shadows underneath him like this. And maybe there's a shadow for his arm holding the spinach out here. And a shadow for this arm, so this come around like that. There's your Popeye. So next episode we'll do one where we see how to take a drawing like this to, if you want, finish, black line, clean up. This would be something that you would give to an assistant or professional inker, and they would put a very professional looking ink line around this character. But for our purposes today of just learning how to draw him, this is what we will turn in, is just this drawing of Popeye. And after this, it gets corrected and make sure everything looks just right. But we want to do quick sketches today. So here's what we have done. So I hope you've enjoyed this demo of Popeye. And until next time, keep drawing and keep having fun.